What's up, guys? It's that one nerd Jacob, and it's official. The 25th anniversary Pokémon Presents is in the books, and people are mad, people are happy. I'm pretty much almost entirely happy. I have very few complaints. So what I'm going to be doing is reacting to the Pokémon Presents presentation, because I feel like that'll help me jog ideas more. Obviously, I'm not going to show the entire thing. I'm only going to show parts where I have talking points, because, you know, it's not right if I'm just sitting here most of the time like, yeah, oh, that's cool. So, you'll basically only see clips where I do have something to say, about what is being on screen. So, I'm just gonna get straight into it. I'm also gonna skip the intro, because as cool as the intro is, I appreciate how they showed, like, everything that they've done over the past 25 years. That's not really relevant to what I wanted to talk about today, which is the games that the game we already knew a little bit about, talking more about that, and then 2 new games coming out at the end of the year and the beginning of next year. So, let's get to reacting. This is weird, doing a reaction video. That's not normally what I'm known for. I guess I should also say, full disclosure, I have already seen this Pokémon Presents. Again, I'm just rewatching it for the video, so that way, 1, I have stuff that I can react to, and then 2, it'll hopefully jog my memory of any ideas that I had, because I had to watch this while I was at work. I took my lunch break, and while I was on my lunch break, I watched this Pokémon Presents. So, I apologize if I don't give any reactions to games that were announced. I will probably still do an over-the-top reaction just because I'm super hyped about the games announced, but yeah. So, full disclosure, I have already seen this.
Welcome to the world of new Pokemon Snap. This is the Lentil region.
So, I like the fact that they basically made a region for Pokemon Snap. I believe in the original one, it was just sort of like, here you are, take pictures of Pokemon. So, it's just a small detail, but it's really nice to feel like you have a sense of where you are in the world, even though technically we don't know where in the Pokemon world this is. It's so simple and nice, and I love it.
Professor Mirror, who's doing research in the Lentil region, and research team
I just want to say, this looks like a Professor Birch knockoff.
members Rita and Phil are there to support you, so you're in good hands.
I like, also, how there's a cast of characters, whereas in the original, Pokemon Snap, it was just yourself and Professor Oak. No other characters. So it's really cool that they're kinda building onto Pokemon Snap and making it seem like it might be a little more story-based. I don't know if story-based is exactly what to call it, but that's just what it kind of feels like to me. It seems fun, and it's nice to know that there are other characters other than just yourself and the professor this time.
That's it. Now's our chance.
I also just want to say that this is the most graphically and aesthetically pleasing Pokemon game we've received since Pokken Tournament. Like, the art style, the graphics, the lighting, everything is just beautiful, and it really makes it feel like this is a world that you're gonna want to explore. Even if you don't like the idea of taking pictures, if you just like beautiful scenery, this already seems like the game for you. Yeah, not much else to say there other than this is probably the best looking Pokemon game we have ever received, aside from, again, maybe Pokken Tournament.
Make good use of your tools.
There was my boy! There was Venusaur! Best part of this presentation! Venusaur confirmed for new Pokemon Snap! Oh my god. I hate myself.
Oh, 4 stars! We captured a rare moment there. Catch a variety of different behaviors on camera to fill up your Pokemon photo decks. And there's more!
I love the idea of the photo decks capturing rare moments, because before it was just sort of, oh hey, get the best picture you can of this Pokemon. But now it encourages you to go back and take pictures of Pokemon. Even if you feel like you got an amazing picture, you're gonna want to get all the moments of that Pokemon, all 4 of the moments. So it feels like there's going to be replayability to each level, because obviously I think it'll be like the original Pokemon Snap where you can only turn in 1 picture of a Pokemon at a time to the professor. So again, this makes it feel like it'll be more replayable than the first one, because the first one was basically just, oh yeah, get the highest score possible, you're done with the level.
You'll be able to edit the photos you've taken.
Immediately after I unpause it, I'm pausing it again. Photo editing. That seems like it would be something that's, like, so easy to miss in a game about photography. Again, especially since the original Pokemon Snap was just sort of try to center the frame as much as possible. But here, I mean, let's go back a little bit.
Different behaviors on camera to fill up your Pokemon photo decks. And
so you can edit the brightness, the blur, the focus size, the focal point, a filter, a caption. You know, it's just simple stuff like that. It makes it feel like it's a photography game rather than a Pokemon game. But also, it feels like a Pokemon game because you're trying to catch them all. Catch a picture of them all. I'll stop talking now.
we know that feeling well. When you want to do that, it's time to go online. You can share your favorite photos and check out photos from around the world. And
Instagram, but for Pokemon. But for real though, that actually is a pretty cool function to share photos online. I mean, obviously, of course, they would add something like that. It wouldn't really make sense knowing the popularity of, like I just mentioned, Instagram, where the whole point of that social media app is just to share photos that you take. It wouldn't make sense for them to not do something to as, like, a nod to that and as a nod to social media as a whole. So, I like this edition. It's really nice, and I'm assuming they won't allow comments, because I feel like that's how you get hate comments in a children's photography video game.
get ready, the Lentil region is waiting for you.
Available April 30th, 2021. I'm pre-ordering this probably tomorrow, actually. I just realized that I have to film for openings with Jake, and I'll already be in town. So I might as well pre-order it while I'm not in my small town that I live in. That's away from everything. Overall, I am very excited for this game. And I feel like with new Pokemon Snap, they've announced all they can announce. I don't think you're going to see any more announcements for new Pokemon Snap, especially since the release date is only about 2 months away now. There's little to no information they can include in a 2-month time period. Unless they just drop something random like, oh yeah, you can find shiny Pokemon, and those will be worth more points. If they did add shiny Pokemon to a Pokemon Snap game, awesome. But I highly doubt they're gonna add any shiny variations of Pokemon at all. It just wouldn't really make too much sense. So now, we're moving on to the next announcement, which everyone got hyped for, and then everyone just completely seemed to dismiss on Twitter, which makes no sense. Like, you cannot please Nintendo fans. I am extremely hyped for what's about to be shown, so let's just jump straight into that. I like how it starts with a timeline that looks like it's going through space. I just want to talk about something. I had that DS model growing up as a kid. The blue one. I had the blue original DS. My brother had a DS Lite. And I always see memes online talking about how you can't trust people that owned an original DS. Add me that list of people that can't be trusted. I would still have it if the top screen did not split off of the console. That was a sad year. Luckily, a week later for Christmas, I got a 3DS, but then I had no way to play my Game Boy Advance games, and that made me very sad. Alright, let's stop talking about my crappy childhood. Just kidding, my childhood was actually pretty good. Just watching this intro makes me happy. And the thing is, it probably shouldn't make me as happy as it is. Let me just say something right now. I think the main reason I'm so hyped about this, Pokemon Pearl was the second Pokemon game I ever played, the first one being Leaf Green. So I have a very early life attachment to the Gen 4 games, because these were the games that were coming out when I was 6. So obviously, for people that were born Generation 1 or around the time of Generation 1 and played that first, they're going to have the strongest connection to that. Same with Gen 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah! Experience the brilliance once more. And there we have the first instance of what caused a Twitter meltdown. This Avatar. Obviously, seeing that Avatar is not exactly what people expected. Cause I think the last instance of a chibi character sprite Avatar was in Generation 6, and we've gotten used to seeing the avatars in full size in the overworld from Gen 7 onward. Obviously, that hasn't been that long. But to go from that, to go to this, I think this is probably my only complaint of this announcement, is that I'm not necessarily a big fan of the chibi-style characters. It'll grow on me. It honestly will. I'm not trying to dismiss this game at all for doing that, because later on they'll talk about how they're trying to be faithful to the originals, and this is a good way to be faithful to the originals by making the character sprites around the same size as they were whenever the game first came out. This image here made me extremely happy, because a lot of people, whenever they hear about remakes, they're expecting like this big overhaul of everything. This looks more like a remaster, where it's just the exact same game, but scaled up. Like, you could put it in HD. In this instance, you could put it in... I don't know if this would be considered 3D or 2.5D, since you're a 3D character walking on a 3D plane. Either way, just from this, it's looking more like a remaster, but it looks like this town has not changed at all, and that just makes me happy. Now, another thing I don't like is how we go back to the sort of set battle style. I'm glad they didn't bring back just the weird circles that Pokemon sat in, but from this, it doesn't really look like we get stuff that happens modern in Pokemon now, where it's generate, they would zoom in on the Pokemon whenever you encounter it, and then it would just go into battle. Obviously, again, this is trying to be faithful to the original, so you can't discredit them for that, but again, it's kind of weird going back to the stuff of Gen 4 whenever we're so used to what all we have now. I'm gonna be honest, I don't like the way Barry looks. That's it. Then again, I didn't really like his character design in Gen 4, so... And I can understand why people might like the character design. It's just, I've never really been able to get behind it. I've never really liked it all that much, but here we are. That's another thing that kind of makes me sad. Because originally that statue was the same sprite in both Diamond and Pearl, because the overhead sprite of Dialga and Palkia were the exact same. Obviously, they're not going to be the exact same in 3D, so they had to do something to change it, but, like, that was just really clever sprite work that went over my head as a kid, and now I just really appreciate it. Second real bit of disappointment, the names. I saw Perfect Names, I think it was on Blizzard, I think that's how you pronounce it. He's sort of like a Pokemon music remixer, and the way he titled some of his themes where he remixed Sinnoh tracks was Temporal Diamond and Spatial Pearl. Perfect! It's so perfect! Time and space. That's literally what Dialga and Palkia represent, is time and space. I mean, I understand why they might not have used it, because, I mean, technically they're talking about gyms, but it's just... That could have been the perfect name for these Gen 4 remakes. Also, go listen to Blizzard's remixes. I doubt you're gonna take advice from a YouTuber that's smaller than Blizzard is, but those are some good remixes. I unironically listen to those in my car. I'm gonna be totally honest. Releasing worldwide in late 2021. Obviously, this is when most mainline Pokemon games do come out, is in late 2021. Normally before Black Friday season, because that's when most shopping gets done. So, the timeline I'm kind of expecting this to be is anywhere between mid-October to the beginning of November, so that way it's out in stores a couple of weeks before Black Friday, and then, boom, it's shoved right up in your face in the ads for Black Friday. But yeah, that's about the timeline I'm expecting these to release, is just basically mid to late fall. That's what I'm expecting. They could release it a little earlier, they could release it a little later. That's just what I expect. Ooh, another story awaits, guys. The Pokemon series enters a new era. An old era.
This is a tale from a long, long time ago.
Those old Pokeballs look cool, and I really want one. This makes me happy. Look at that. That is beautiful. That is just a beautiful first shot of what the game looks like. Just showing the vast, expanding area of old Sinnoh when, like the narrator just said, was a vast wilderness. This is beautiful. I love this, and I cannot wait for this to come out. So, this was something that caught a little bit of flack. The water, people said it looks like it's hand-drawn. The grass doesn't look realistic. The Pokemon are very shiny. I personally think that this is a stylistic choice. I feel like they did this on purpose. I feel like it's meant to be like... I'm trying to think, like, you ever seen old Japanese drawings? Not anime. Not that. Not that. Older than that. Yes, that. That is, I feel like, the story. I feel like that was the style they were trying to go for. And I personally really like it. Again, I feel like this is a on-purpose design choice. I don't think that just sort of happened. I think they meant to do it. Again, you just get to see the wide open area that you get to explore. I've been wanting an open world Pokemon game since I saw Breath of the Wild. And this is just that. It's Breath of the Wild Pokemon Edition, which a lot of other people have wanted that, but of course Twitter now hates it because Game Freak actually went and made it a thing. You can't please people on Twitter in the Pokemon community. They ask for something, but then as soon as it's delivered, they no longer want it. They're like, oh, we only want it if it's in our crazy fantasies, but if you guys actually put the pen to paper and then create what we want you to create, we hate it. I will never understand it. I am this close to deleting Twitter just because half the people on there are stupid. The only reason I keep Twitter is because that's where I normally post updates on videos, if I'm going to be running late or not, or if anything else comes up, so that's the only reason I keep Twitter. Let's be honest. I would have deleted it a while ago if it weren't for that. So, if you saw that Chingling, you saw that it was kind of choppy. A lot of people are making jokes now, and honestly, being kind of serious, too. There's some people that are saying, oh, I'm not playing this game because it obviously has terrible frame rate. This game is still a year from releasing. This looks like a very early build of this game. This is not the final product. It says in the beginning of the trailer, gameplay not final. Now, obviously, a lot of stuff was said the same with Sword and Shield, like how some of the graphics were lackluster, how a lot of the animations just didn't really make any sense, and a lot of people were saying and hoping, like, hey, this game's still a couple of months away from releasing, you know, you can't really judge it for being in sort of a pre-build phase. I'm hoping that what happened with Sword and Shield, I'm not saying it's a bad game, but I am saying some of the stuff is lackluster in there. I'm hoping that they can prove people wrong and show, like, hey, you know, it's not going to be 13 frames a second like y'all are saying. It's actually going to be playable. I like this starter selection. They didn't go with the most popular starters, because if they did, they'd just go with the Gen 1 starters. Let's be honest. Instead, they went with Cyndaquil. A lot of people, for some reason, don't like Cyndaquil. They went with Oshawott. A lot of people don't really like Oshawott. And they went with Rowlet. Well, Rowlet's pretty popular, let's be honest. But they went with a non-predictable set of starters. You know, you could have easily had the starters have been like Charmander, Treecko, and Totodile. Charmander, Treecko, and Totodile. Those are the three starters they could have went with, because those are extremely popular starters. This is not exactly what comes to mind whenever people say, what is the most popular starter Pokemon in Pokemon? I like that. I like that they didn't go with the most popular options. It's really refreshing to not have Charmander shoved down our throat for the billionth time. That original Pokeball. I want one! I want a replica Pokeball like that. I need it. I need that Pokeball. I need it so bad. It's so good! Why is it so good? Why am I obsessed with a Pokeball? I love it. The title, Pokemon Legends Arceus. I like how it's based off of Arceus, the creator of all Pokemon. But it's before Arceus that catches my attention. And yes, I still pronounce it Arceus. Pokemon Legends. Arceus seems like a subtitle in that name. So, I personally feel like Pokemon Legends is going to become a side series, sort of like the Pokemon Ranger games, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, and this game will get sequels if it is received well enough. The sequel that I think would be the most likely would probably be Pokemon Legends Mew, since Mew is the ancestor of all Pokemon. But that's what I thought whenever I first saw this is, oh, are they making like a new complete series? Like, there's no way. You would have just called it Pokemon Legends and left it at that if it was a one-time thing. Arceus just seems like it's a subtitle, implying that they are planning on making this a full-time series. People are kind of worried that Ilka is working on it. I think it's great that Game Freak is finally outsourcing their content. But, let me just look up some stuff that they've worked on. They have worked on games such as Dragon Quest XI, Ace Combat 7, Code Vein, and Nier Automata. Automata, I don't know how to pronounce it, I'm sorry. They have worked on some massive games. And if I'm correct, most of, if not all of these games, had major positive feedback. Now, obviously, I don't think they had that big of a role in most of these games, but they do have the experience. They do have the ability to make this game good. They have the ability to make it a game worth playing. But I've seen some people that are like, I don't know what these guys have done. These guys haven't worked on anything. Again, I believe this is their first independent project, but this is just the stuff that they've helped with. Again, it can be in roles that are very minor to very major, I believe, but they do have experience.
As well as Game Freak's Junichi Masuda.
Junichi Masuda is still involved with the game. It's not like he gave it off to Ilka and was just like, here, have fun, do whatever you want with my baby. Like, he is still doing a part in this. He's just working with Ilka Inc. I do think Ilka Inc. is going to do most of the work, whereas Junichi Masuda is just basically going to be there, like, giving pointers, stuff that they should do, obviously stuff that they need to include with it being a Pokemon game, but I have faith that Ilka's going to do a good job.
The sense of scale of the original game's towns and routes has been carefully preserved.
That's what I like the most. They preserved the scale of everything. Obviously, most of the remakes, granted, maybe not... Okay, not most of the remakes. Probably just Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire sort of expanded the map a little bit, is what I would say. This is just gonna be... It's basically gonna be like playing through the original again, is what I can assume. Same sized maps. Looks like it's gonna be pretty much the exact same gameplay mechanics. This is promising.
It seems they were brought to Sinnoh by a certain professor who encountered them while traveling around various regions.
That makes me want to play the game even more. A certain professor. What if that's young Oak? Okay, I doubt Oak was alive this early in the Pokemon universe, but it adds a sense of mystery that they don't say, by Professor such and such. I don't think it would be Professor Rowan either, because I think Rowan is younger than Oak?
You'll set off on your adventure after receiving a first partner Pokemon of your own from this professor.
I just want to say that I love the designs of the protagonists. Obviously, it's supposed to represent the original protagonists from Diamond and Pearl, but I just love the design of these two characters. I think everything about this game is going to be beautiful to me once I actually start getting to play it in a year.
To create Sinnoh's very first Pokedex.
We're creating the first Pokedex of the region. Think about that. The first Pokedex of the region. Normally your goal is to fill the Pokedex, but those entries have seemed to have already been entered. So you're just sort of discovering things that are already known about. This makes it feel like you're creating history in the Pokemon universe. And that's amazing! You're making the first Pokedex in the region. Ever. That's great. Okay, that's all there is to it. So, I have just a couple of comments, questions, and concerns about the series, obviously. So, first of all, let's start off with Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. With these games being developed by another company, and it looking like it's going to be more of a remaster than a remake, is it going to be compatible with Pokemon Home? And is it going to contain Pokemon from later regions past Generation 4? That's what I'm wanting to figure out the most. From the looks of it, it's just going to be a straight-up remaster of Generation 4. Nothing extremely new. There might be a couple of new mechanics here and there just because, I mean, it is a newer game. But, again, it's made by a third-party company. It doesn't look like you're going to be able to encounter newer Pokemon in the game. So I feel like that's going to make it to where it's not compatible with Home. That's not necessarily a bad thing, because I feel like either in late 2022 or late 2023 is when we're going to get Generation 9. But it would be nice if we could transfer some of our Pokemon from Generation 8 and Sword and Shield, I guess this is also technically a Generation 8 game, into Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. But, I mean, obviously that's not going to be a thing. Or, not obviously, but I feel like it's not going to be a thing. another thing I have to wonder, it did show the underground area and everything. I wonder now, since Nintendo has a better Wi-Fi capability than it did back on the DS, if the underground you can connect online, or if that's just going to be sort of locked behind local play only. I don't see why they wouldn't implement an online function for the underground. I loved the underground. That was one of my favorite things about Diamond and Pearl and Platinum. And I wonder if they've added any sort of, like, post-game. Nothing necessarily super long, but it seems as if pretty much every remake has had some sort of post-game added to it, so it's like, oh, here's the original game that you played, but now we're adding in some more stuff, so that way it's not just, oh, hey, I spent $60 on a game that I played 10, 15 years ago. So, I wonder if they're gonna add in some sort of post-game, and if they do, what it might contain. Going on to Pokemon Legends, I did not see a single other trainer that entire time. So that makes me wonder, are they going to include trainer battles? Is there going to be a villainous team? Or is this basically just going to be complete the Pokedex? Catch them all. Is that all this is going to be? I'm going to be honest, if they don't include trainer battles, I'm not going to necessarily say that'll make the game bad, but it will take away a little bit of what Pokemon is, which is becoming the very best trainer in the region. And with that being the case, if there's not trainer battles, will there be online friend battles or online random battles? I don't see why they wouldn't include this, considering trainer battles have been a huge part of Pokemon. I mean, obviously they've been a huge part. They've been in Pokemon since the very first games. It would just be kind of weird to see that taken away, because they obviously have a full battle menu. They have everything set up. So, it makes me question if they have trainers. Again, this is probably a very early build of the game. There's still about a year until it comes out, so there's plenty of time for them to add trainers and stuff in, and I feel like we're gonna get more about this game around E3 or within a couple of months of its release. But yeah, that's gonna That's gonna be it. That's gonna do it for this video. This is gonna be a long video to edit. It's been like 50 minutes. But I wanted to do this video because I am extremely excited about this, and I hope you guys are excited as I am. I pushed back recording Dead Space for this. But yeah, I honestly hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed hearing my input, things that I thought about the game. And if you have any suggestions, theories, questions on these new games coming out, feel free to comment them below. I want to see what you guys think might become of these games. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget, links to find me outside of this channel in the description below in case you want to see what I'm doing outside of YouTube, which really isn't that much. And I will see you guys next time. See ya, and happy 25th anniversary of Pokemon.